Hi, YouTube. Happy Sunday. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good, not bad. I'm listening to a Gnostic informant, and they're talking about the woman and the dragon of the Revelation 12 sign. And it's super interesting. You have from a Jewish perspective, the same guy. I don't know if you watched the link from yesterday. Or I don't know if I shared it. I think I did in my community, but anyway, there's a Jewish man named Ariel Rosemendim, I think is how you say his name. Then there's Neil, and he's got another fantabulous Slavic name for the ending, so I'm not going to attempt that. And then there was a Derek from Myth Vision and a Christian named Aaron. And three of these people, two of them stopped being a Christian. One of them's still a Christian, and the other one's a Jewish man. So this is coming from different perspectives with people. You know the part where it says that, and the woman was with that standing on the moon with the crown of 12 stars, that she is drunk by the blood of her children. The Christian man took this. Now this is the limited language skills that disturb other people when people really are not biblical. I mean, they're scholars, but when they're not educated enough. Okay, how does this sound? She was drunk by the blood of her children, or drunk because of the blood of her children? Those are her children. Um, and it states how, like, the Christ following Jewish Israelites, those are her chosen in heaven and to rule the earth. It doesn't mean in these days right now. These are people that are being trained for the future, for their culture, not anybody else. So if you think that you should be following Judaism, you're probably that's the problem with that Christian scholar, because he's too young and he's too experienced in his language skills, that the Jewish man had to insert the fact that she isn't drunk because she killed her children and drank the blood. She saw the blood of her children and it made her queasy. It made her off balance. The actual language, which he didn't go into, but I'm going to tell you, is un off kilter, unbalanced. It made her, okay, so like if I wasn't angry and I saw you hurt my child, I now am put into a position of protecting that child that I wasn't just a little bit ago. So that's exactly what that means right there. This is not when they try and paint Lady Babylon or Babylon as Jezebel. That is not what's going on. These people out in the world are using their misplaced sexuality to take what was a gift from God to that woman and represent her as the energy they draw from into their filthiness. And that is the argument. That is the war in heaven that is still ongoing. So, and when all this was written, the war was raging in heaven, and there was wars on earth too because of it. So, yeah, that's just what's going on. I thought I'd touch on that. It's just like I shared this too. Um, there were Sibylline oracles. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to say there was a boy and a girl. They were twins. They were of the same age. And the Oracle of Delphi, she was what they would call a prophetess. She is the one that wrote the Sibylline oracles at 12 years old for people. And that is what the Jewish and the Christians and the rest, all of them, were Sibyllines, following that from Greek tradition, which went into the Septuagint in Greek and then came out through Judaism and Christianity. But the true first Christians were considered Sibyllines. So, but isn't that screwy that they would take a girl's work, a young lady's work, take it as their own, insert their own history in a history of people, and hide the truth from everybody? That's dirty, isn't it? Ooh, speaking of dirty, there's a, oh, well, it's just the way it really is. I'm going to pull it up to let you know exactly what it is. But, I mean, I don't like to pick on people, but when they're so ignorant and they hurt other people without a care in the world, it's like, oh, I'll just say whatever I want to say, like that Christian. If them other men would have let that stand on, she was drunk on the blood of her children, that changes a whole lot. That's like back in the day when they said Queen Medea killed her children, when it was the Corinthians that killed her children, and then told the rest of the world that she had done it to her own children. If you don't think that's enough to piss some women off in this world, what do you think's going on? You know, doesn't have anything to do like women's rights and the rest of this bullshit that a lot of people um, promote as feminism. Doesn't have anything to do with that. And now I can't find what I was trying to find. I'll find it. It's a rabbi that I follow, and every once in a while, actually thought we were friends a couple years ago. I was trying to talk to him as what was going on, but there's just no talking to some people. Just won't. He's so educated. It isn't that I'm a little bit older and quite a bit more educated than he is that I would be able to tell him anything. But anyway, let's see. It was just right here. I almost couldn't believe it. I'll tell you what he said that got me to where how I feel here, I think. Just a sec. Mm, let's see. Yeah, I'm out here trying to right some wrongs that I know better of, and I don't care who says what. I'm not letting nobody in my mouth is having weird problems. I don't care what anybody says. I know I got my information from the very people that um, help keep it hidden to help us out of love. And that's exactly what's going on. Okay, where did you go? It, well, I can't find it. I'll just have to tell you what it is. It's, I think, or maybe I'll try one more thing going on. I looked in my subscriptions and it's not there, but maybe I did unsub to the dude. I might have. I might have. Mm. Oh, he's got one for today, 2 hours ago. Be careful how to spot psychopaths. Well, that's beautiful, Mr. Rabbi. I did spot one. Last week this dude said and I've heard it out of him before. but talking about people like if you were like out of sorts, like if you were going in another direction or whatever, like he's instructing people like drive this way, or but you're not driving that this way. He uses a terminology of coming off the reservation or being off the reservation. In the red man's country, this little person had the flippin' audacity on Sunday, of all days for me, being a very important day to me, although his Shabbat is yesterday, with his Saturnian worship. Good for you, whoever you are. Sunday's still sacred to me. But anyway, so likes to use that term off the reservation. I'm like, in fact, I'm gonna go find that video. I have to get the exact words here. Just wait, I will. It's just too much. I'll go to his channel and find it. I mean, it's one thing to think that you're everybody's godfather on this flippin' planet and nobody is as spiritual or as close or loved by God as you are. But it's a whole nother thing to be living in another person's country and use the terminology of off the reservation. Aren't you off your fucking continent, Mr. Israelite? Seems. Oh, shush. Oh, cousins. Yeah, that's another thing he likes to say. Friends and cousins. Okay, wait. I'm sorry, but you'll see what I'm saying. I mean, it's so unnecessary. Change a couple words and what's going on, and you got a whole different meaning of things. You see what I'm saying? How do you reach people with love? If you wanted to convert me to Judaism, which I was raised by a guy who called himself the Minneapolis Jew, so if you wanted to convert people to Judaism, would you insult them? It probably isn't going to be work very well for people. Okay. Well, what latest? Latest videos. And no, I can't find what's gonna come up. What? I just don't get it. Just a minute. Maybe if I, to me it was important, but I'll just tell you what it was. I was thinking about 7 again, but I just can't. Not with that off the reservation comment. That's just too much. So anyway, it said, like coming together in the United States, and how do we come together as a people in the United States? And I was like, well, here I go. I'm off the reservation again, or something like that. I wrote to him, something to that effect. I wish I could think of the exact words, but you get my meaning. So anyway, thank you. Excuse me, Doug. Oh, okay. Okay. Just a second here. I am making a video, so if you could limit the noise, I'd appreciate. Thank you. So anyway, I think you get my meaning with this dude. I mean, how do we come together in the United States that's so divided? Why don't you stop insulting people to begin with? That'd probably be a good start. And then you could, pay rent for the land you're living on illegally that doesn't belong to you. That would be another start for people in this world. That taxes should actually go to the people on the reservations. That's the worst land in our country. Shouldn't the native people that used to have their forefathers on Mount Rushmore, say, for instance, and Crazy Horse Mountain is still there unfinished, and it's sickening. If you saw it, the whole thing is putrid, done by blowing up sides of the mountains and people's vanity. So, and a great big public display where people can come and see all this, buy silver mines and gold mines, by the way, that they tried to take from the Lakota that they didn't get. This stuff goes very deep, but we'll just leave it on the monuments right now that were changed to suit the people that took that over. They paid tribes that came up from the south to war with the people of the Plains Indians. Now, the people that are Plains Indians know that, but those other people that did that to them, they're not going to tell you that. You're only going to hear it from the people that it happened to. The people, there was 100 million Native Americans that look like me, a little darker, genocided, even hung out in public squares, women, children, men, naked. So these European freaks could do that to them. How do you like that? How would you, just 300 miles away from me where I live right now, that happened in my state of Minnesota. Yeah. Well, until the Native Americans, who are very intelligent, doctor, lawyers, whoever, and not all of us live on the reservation. I could get money right now from the government, and then why should I get money off of land that is the natives' people from somebody trying to control what is part of me? That I did work at a casino. Of course, they think that's pretty funny, taking all the money and houses and land back from the people that thought nothing of doing that to them, only they don't kill people to do it. They use their minds to do it, and they're still doing it. There's some tribes that won't engage in gambling because it's against their beliefs, but there's plenty of Native Americans that work like um, natural resources, restocking lakes and cleaning things up that you don't even ever see. And these people should be living at the base of um, like Yosemite, the waterfall, or something. They're the ones that should have this the most, or Glacier National Park or Glacier Lake, wherever they chose, um, Yellowstone, the most beautiful, or like Mammoth Hot Springs. Why should there be a public facility on what was native? And we're off the reservation. Ooh. Whee! If you got that. Anyway, what a fucking ass. Excuse me. Cheers, everybody. I hope you understand. I had some native friends that are such beautiful people. Our very, very close friend died, but the way people would treat him, just, I mean, just, if you saw the shit I saw, you'd be disturbed. Places with no clean drinking water and different things like that. And people think that these people are what? Sucking off your money when all they have to do is dig in their own hills for their own riches, but everybody else is doing it? Come on. Let's talk about justice. Off the reservation. I'm going to come off this fucking reservation. Want me to come and visit this rabbi in New York? Do you think that he would say that I was off the reservation if I knocked on his door or went into his ministry? Would I be so off the reservation that I wouldn't be welcome? Yeah, it's upsetting. Whenever I make a good point like that, Doug's cat Bob, he's got a bobtail, but um, black and white kitty with a tuxedo. He just goes, wow. Whenever I make a good point like that, he agrees. It's really cool because he knows I'm just passionate about certain things. He's going on about 15 years old, so pretty smart. But yeah, it's upsetting to me. Really, if you've seen the pain and suffering of people or people that build their own towns and they've got like little white picket fences and flowers and businesses and um, just beautiful towns, uh, like in northern Minnesota here and different places, or um, like the development of Rapid City, South Dakota. There's a lot of places that were established by the Native Americans, and they welcomed the Europeans. They never left, but they didn't leave. They didn't leave because they were strong and the smartest ones too. So anyway, nobody cares till it happens to them, and the Jews can say, "Well, it happened to us, not as bad, and you're in our country. You're welcome here, but shut your big fucking mouth for real, dude." Until I see people that I see like natives that are running for Congress and president and that type of thing. There's a man that tried to stop oil from being spilled in the Mississippi waterway, still in prison for protesting on his own land. The feds, his name's Leonard Pilfer. He's been in since 1972. He's been in jail. Everybody's Julius Assange. Come on, people. This is our country. This is what's happening still in our country as these clowns in suits tell you they care about you. A people that can run their own nations, called the First Nation, the first people, don't war with each other and are working united in so many ways, mostly to keep their languages alive and their faith, their beliefs, you know, that were like, you're either going to turn into one of us, or is what white people told them, or we'll kill you, or killing the parents and taking the children all into these homes. Let's get real with the history of this, and there still needs to be justice done on it. If it was you, you would care. But most people don't trust the natives enough, which I don't understand why you wouldn't. Because right now, with those nations banded together, with all the Hispanics and all the Canadians and all the first people, if we banded together and started a war, people would be scared because there's a lot of people with native blood nowadays. But a Jewish man would have the audacity to think that we would want his religion and that he would have the right to slander somebody in their own country as he imposes himself and exposes himself. So anyway, yeah, you were given the land of Israel. And the land of Israel actually only means one person, technically. It's not even speaking about Jerusalem. Jerusalem wasn't even a city uh, about 2,000 years ago. That's not what it was called. And Jesus from Galilee, even he spoke Greek. They were Greek speaking. Even some of the uh, um, Messianic Jews were from Crete. They were Greek speaking. That's how the text became Hebrew, from different families that took something that was not theirs, that was Greek to begin with. And then the Romans came in that were also of that same Phoenician background bloodline. And that's when the religions started getting mixed up and misinterpreted and twisted intentionally. And these texts like the Sibyllines and the Septuagint, the beginning, how do you take something that's 1,000 years older than something that is rewritten, and it means something way different in that other language 1,000 years prior, that you would change the meaning? How do you get that a woman is upset because people killed her children to she's bloodthirsty and drunk on her own fornication? How do you twist that shit? How do you take the Queen of Heaven that's described and turn her into a Jezebel? Well, just read your current scriptures without knowledge behind it, and that's how you get that. How do you get a man and a woman and stick them together as a Baphomet? Well, just read your current scriptures. That's how you do that. That's how you have Adam and Eve described as androgynous instead of the mindful thing that a man and woman have between each other in our physical. Yeah. Just listen to some Fruit Loops out there twisting what is true biology. They took what is actually science books and actual documentation of human anatomy and biology and things that people were treated for, and all the chemistry of the past, and hid it from everybody so you wouldn't know the truth. And this is the type of thing that people like me are gonna, everything will be there. A new book needs to be written, not out of anything but except for the factual history that we can prove by the texts that were hidden from people. They went from Greece into like Sicily and Spain, and I can't remember this man's name, Frank something, or Francis or something, had come out of Greek, and he had given these texts to his friend and said, "Don't publish these, but after I die, I want you to publish these and for my family and your family, so these are passed on," because they were starting to burn. The Christians were burning libraries in Alexandria to hide the truth from you. And texts survived that went underground, and that's what we're pulling forward now. So people will understand the truth of their history, um, without the lies that everybody's just so easily spit something out that doesn't even make sense, that a mother would be drunk on the blood of her children. I mean, yeah, there's some, but not the Queen of Heaven, you know. to how do you go from, whoa, there's some freaking twisting there going. It's like somebody took a freaking corkscrew and pulled some stuff out of there, or something happened along the way. Wow. Anyway, well, that's about it today. I just wanted to make people aware that it's so easy. You change one little snippet in one little sentence, and the next thing you know, a mother that loved you is now vampiristic and wants you dead. Thank you to the men that changed the woman into a monster. Yeah, you're wonderful. And to you, Rabbi, living in my country, not caring about the natives, fuck off. Everybody else, sorry. Not sorry. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That would be untrue. I am not. Double fuck off. All right, everybody. Peace. Oh, I'm stuck. I was stuck. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.